It's here. The moment of truth. You were wondering what the future of Fisker ownership was going to be? Well, we now know. And the question becomes, are you really going to be a Fisker Ocean owner? I communicate with Fisker owners of all types all the time, and there's no shortage of owners who basically can't afford any more payments or refuse to pay if there's going to be anything that they have to pay. I stated in a previous video that one of the reasons I got away from the Ocean was because I knew at a certain point the affordable part of the ownership wasn't going to be a reality for very long, and that reality is here. Also, they gave me $25,000 for a $40,000 Sport at the Honda dealership. I wasn't going to pass that up. It was early May. The stock was trading for pennies. I knew the bankruptcy was going to happen. In fact, I remember telling it to the Honda dealership as I handed them the key. Technicians were losing access in the middle of servicing cars. I was sitting on a larger and larger stack of emails from the Fiskers themselves to other employees, and let's say they weren't fun. But amidst all the uncertainties, the stock tanking, the bankruptcy, all the questions about how the future is going to be managed, the other red flags and the opportunities to get out, you stuck with it. I commend you for that. That was hard, but a lot of that was cost, right? Well, now the cost is here. And then there's those of you that bought in even though you knew the bankruptcy was coming, or at least there wasn't going to be a warranty, and I don't know how to explain those decisions. But nonetheless, you're owners now too. And without further ado, let's talk about the future of Fisker Ocean ownership. And this is really important, so before I made this video, I reached out to the FOA and I had them give me information. So instead of calling things rumors, we can stick to the facts. Quarterly Fisker Owner Association dues. The FOA team spent considerable time discussing how to keep this organization operational and sustainable while ensuring the costs remain reasonable for all owners. After all, as owners ourselves, this decision impacts each of us. Our goal is to introduce quarterly dues of roughly $150 starting in early 2025. The FOA has always been and will continue to be entirely volunteer driven. This dues amount was carefully determined based on projected costs for ongoing support and resources for owners and service providers, informed by feedback from the FOA community. These dues will help fund key initiatives, such as programming key fobs at local meetups, maintaining a vibrant online community, and expanding our growing repository of tutorials and reference materials. Additionally, they will support the streamlining of systems to enhance vehicle experiences, pursue owner-driven improvements to in-vehicle software and the companion app, maintain cloud services and internet connectivity, and cover the licensing fees for full IP access that enables all of this. The legal victories achieved by the FOA community have benefited all Ocean owners, and our progress has been made possible by the generosity of a portion of the owner base. Now, to ensure the stability of our operations, it's time to fairly distribute the overhead costs of maintaining, growing, and evolving our community. Unlike traditional car ownership, FOA members will have significant input into shaping the vehicle's experience within reasonable legal, safety, and cost boundaries. That's what makes this endeavor totally unique. This is no longer Fisker's company. In fact, as of January 1st, 2025, this will become our car company, collectively as owners, and will have the opportunity to shape its direction in ways that serve owners best. We also have the chance to advocate for a shift in the auto industry, challenging the increasingly prevalent software-as-a-service model that gives owners little to no agency. It's bold, but we could potentially influence change in that trajectory. And all of this is a result of the American lease decision that took place on Friday before the holiday. I have an entire video on that. It's right here. Let's dive into what this means. First off, adoption. Now, that's not mentioned in the Fisker Owners Association release, but it's a big deal. The $50 a month, or $150 per quarter, that you're going to be required to pay assumes everyone that owns an Ocean now decides to pay. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you don't want to pay, it's time to sell, because when you brick, it's for real. Or the amount of cost to get it back on the road will be so bad, you won't want to unbrick it. So if you don't like yard ornaments that don't run, and you don't want to pay $50 a month, it's time to go. That's right, in order to get your own destiny as far as a car company, which will belong partially to you if you decide to join, you need to pay $100 by the end of the year and $50 a month going forward for the next 5 years. Once again, assuming everyone buys in. If not, it could be $75. Or when your car breaks, you may have to pay all the dues to join the FOA that you would have had to pay in back payments. That's what I would do. Now that is speculation, of course, but there will be additional costs. The FOA has already made it clear that if they need to create financial incentives for people to join, or let's face it, penalties for those who don't, they will do so. But remember, $50 a month buys you a seat at the table of your own car company. You get a vote. You get to elect who is in control. That person who is in control listens to you. You are an owner just as they are, and the only difference between you and them is that your peers elected that person to be in power. That's what you're looking forward to. That's solutions, upgrades, decisions, all kinds of different things. But what if I don't pay, right? I know you're thinking that. Maybe I can just not pay. Here's where the My Ocean has never had a problem comes into play. If you've really never had a problem, then you could take the risk. If your 12 volt dies and you, let's say, lose the calibration for your California mode, well, you're going to have to get in the back of a very long line. Have you ever missed the last shot in a basketball game and your team lost? Have you ever forgotten your wife's wedding anniversary? Those are the kinds of feelings the other members will have towards you for not paying. Once again, if you don't want to pay, it's time to sell. And let's say democratically that the FOA decides that they're not going to increase the dues for those who didn't pay. Well, that just means windshields cost more and backup parts like fenders or brakes are just going to be more. They're going to have to recoup the costs somehow. What about Europe? I know, I can hear it. You're covered too. There's only one cloud. It's fiskerinc.com. The cars can't talk to any other website. It's hard-coded. I don't know what hard-coded looks like on a piece of hardware, but I do know that hard-coded is a real thing. It's the whole reason American Lease went to court. But Europe, you're covered. It's going to be a little different. It may be a little more frustrating at first, but eventually it'll be worked out. You'll still have to pay the same dues as everyone else, but the FOA is based in America, not an American-only organization. So my last video, when I said it was good news, because it is. The future is certain. 5 years, $50 a month, you're going to have a solution. And that $50 a month will likely include T-Mobile, some kind of navigation services, etc. The math has been done. The thoughts have been recorded. The people have been contacted. They're not going to charge you less than they need. $50 a month should cover it. But that's the cost of being fine, is $50 a month. You may be paying $12.50 a month right now for your Fisker loan. Yes, $50 a month extra really kind of hurts. It's a little bit of a gut punch, if you will, but that's part of owning the car. That's once again why I got out. I knew expense was going to become something that's extra and not traditional, and I wasn't in it for that. You want me to make you feel instantly better about the $50 a month? That's the cost of the premium tier of OnStar. So if you own a GM vehicle for longer than 3 years and you want to continue to have basically the stuff you had, $50 a month. And also the fleet will dwindle. People will sell. People will crash. Oceans will be totaled. They'll be parted out and sold to other people who own oceans, which means the costs in 5 years may be more than $50. Or this entire business model may not make sense in 5 years. But for the next 5 years, you're okay. However, because this extra cost is now completely known, the value of oceans on the secondary market is not likely to go up. People ask me in the comments, hey, I'm thinking about buying one of these. Well, are you cool with $50 a month for the rest of the ownership forever? It's something some people will consider. What about Fisker, the company? It's over. They're liquidating. The IP has some kind of value, but it doesn't have enough value for, let's say, an OEM, because they literally have people on the books who are trained to develop the things that Fisker developed, and not hastily and without thought of regulation or legality, allegedly. They actually have teams of engineers who do this kind of stuff. And so why buy the IP for a company that didn't work? Volkswagen has MEB. Hyundai Kia has EGMP. GM has Ultium, and they're developing something else. And I don't think it has anything to do with Fisker. So if you're a startup company and you have a whole ton of extra cash, and hit up Heights and buy the IP, because that's who owns it right now. They'll either lease it out for some thing or sell it. But no matter what, FSRNQ
is over.
It's in the documents.
One of the points that you just made was
that the creditors are receiving a benefit. Equity holders, they're not receiving any benefit, are they, from the plant? Their equity interests are being canceled.
Long story short, will someone buy it? Maybe. But it's not going to affect you, especially if you're a shareholder. If you're a shareholder and you didn't opt out, kiss your money goodbye. There's no money. The value of the cars may never go up, but the value of being part of this community, that's where the $50 comes in. There is value here. Speaking of that, let's talk about Tsunami. Tsunami Automotive, the Fisker Ocean Parts division, is already exceeding expectations. Our primary goal is to ensure the accessibility of ocean parts and protect owners from price gouging in an already scarce market. In the short term, this involves locating, acquiring, and making available already manufactured parts tied up in bankruptcy and legal issues, as well as parts acquired by American Lease through the North American liquidation. There's that word again. This required creating an inventory warehousing, sales, and distribution system in just over a month with no working capital from FOA or owners. Tsunami Automotive is a lean operation that will be bootstrapping near and medium-term operations off a narrow margin. The objective is to enable the company to maintain stable, competitive parts pricing for the long run. Although Tsunami was created as a for-profit entity, its mission is not to maximize profits. Its sole purpose is to ensure the continuity and accessibility of ocean parts for the benefit of owners. And here's an example. We launched a group buy of key fobs in endeavor to exercise the group purchasing power of the ocean owner community. Fisker started off selling just the fob for $250. By July, the price was $325. When Fisker ran out, we got reports of dealers charging up to $1,200 per key. Last week's launch priced a key fob bundle of a key and 2 NFC cards at $289 US plus sales tax and shipping, and received nearly 1,100 orders in less than a week. When owners come together, Tsunami can serve as an effective vehicle to ensure access to parts at a reasonable price. The key fob bundles are a soft launch of owners' ability to effectively take back control of their parts supply chain. We want to do the same for air filters, windshields, brake pads, everything the car needs. We're actively working to expand our inventory to include a wide range of additional parts. On a related note, we created an ocean glass request form to gain a better understanding of those needs. If someone needs glass parts for their ocean, they should fill out this form. Currently, the Tsunami Automotive storefront offers liquidated level 1 chargers at 40% off, the key fob and NFC card bundle, replacement key fob shells, and 2 specialized tools for service centers. It is noteworthy that the new key fobs we offer are a brand new and improved design with raised logo versus the paint that can easily rub off. For owners in North America, the level 1 charger and key fob bundle can be purchased here, but supplies are limited. That's what you get for $50 a month. When you go to the dealership and you ask for a part, they charge you the absolute maximum possible available price that makes any kind of market sense. When you buy a part from the Tsunami store, you know that the lowest achievable price for any kind of continuity has been achieved. So there's another benefit, part of that $50. And I respect the Fisker Ocean owner community. I've done the best I can to be a one-stop shop for information, even if you don't keep up with any other resources on Fisker, even though some of you have made fun of me and worse. And I forgive you for that, and thank you for continuing to follow me for updates. If there's news on Fisker, I will update you on it. In fact, regarding that, let's talk finally about Hagens Berman. Hagens Berman has filed several demands for arbitration, and Chase has retained counsel. Both parties are now working together to develop a framework to settle the cases without the need to file more than 1,300 individual arbitrations. There is optimism that many, if not all, of these disputes can be resolved before filing, but several key issues still need to be addressed, such as the fate of the cars and how to value them. This is a complex $60 million plus dispute involving a major bank and their global law firm, so it's expected to take some time. If Hagens Berman cannot reach a swift resolution, they plan to file all cases by the end of October. And if you've contacted Hagens Berman and they haven't reached back out, now you know they're working on a solution for everyone all at once. And in the event they don't, you'll definitely get contacted. And here's the official communication from Hagens Berman directly to me. We are writing to update you on the status of your claims against JP Morgan Chase N.A. regarding your purchase of a Fisker Ocean. About a month ago, we filed the first handful of arbitrations against Chase in order to get its lawyers to appear in the case. Since then, we have been working with Chase's lawyers to try to come up with a faster procedure than filing all approximately 1,300 arbitrations. But we are continuing to prepare all of the arbitrations for filing in the event that we cannot come up with an agreement for a different procedure with Chase. We have been working with the arbitration company JAMS regarding filing all of the remaining arbitrations at once, which we expect will be in about 2 weeks. We will keep you updated periodically on the status of these claims. While it is never easy to bring claims against the biggest bank in the world, we are pressing this as fast as we can. That's all the updates on Fisker for now. There are plenty more coming, but at least you're back in the loop. I've got some really exciting stuff coming up involving Fisker, and you should definitely subscribe so you don't miss it. Join Patreon or become a YouTube member for early access to those videos and to support me continuing this. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, smash the like button.
Thank you.